This morning I have a message for you titled, Watch Me. Now, have you ever had a smaller human being ask you to watch them do something? Can you remember when you were the smaller human being asking a bigger human being, watch me? I was able to come full circle and realize I remember when I said, watch me do something completely unimpressive. Over and over again. Look, it's still completely unimpressive. But that was the best I could do. And as we were worshiping this morning, I want you to understand my focus today. God is watching. Sometimes I wear my sunglasses. That's an inside joke. Even at night, sometimes. No. Anyway. And my son says, well, you're not looking at me. No, I'm looking at you, Liam. I'm looking at you. I'm looking at your sister. I'm looking at a lot of things. I am observing both of you. But watch me. I am watching you. And I know you're about to hurt yourself. I can tell that out of the corner of my eye. No, I won't. Sure. Do you understand? God already is watching. He's not just watching you for when you do something completely unimpressive. He's not just going to look at you when you ask him to. Here's the thing. Do you feel like God's just been ignoring you? Do you feel like, I can't do anything good enough to get God's attention? I really felt that this morning during praise. How many of you online have felt, it doesn't matter what I do, God's just never going to pay attention to me? And you have to understand something. Until you become father, you don't understand how much you pay attention. See, from the child's perspective, they're not looking directly at me, making direct eye contact, burning a hole in the back of my head. They must not be paying attention to me. But do you understand? God is going, I know where you're headed, and you're about to fall in that hole that you don't see coming. And I'm just seeing that out of the corner of my eye. That's how much I'm paying attention. I'm paying attention that I see what's going to happen in your life that you're worried about if I'm watching. We're riding bikes. You cannot ride your bike looking backwards and drive straight. You will go into the ditch if you look to see if Dad is watching you. Eyes forward. What was that story? Eyes forward. No looking back or something like that when they were telling you to ride the bike or something. Forward. You have to look to what you're doing. Because guess what? God is watching. And he may be going, please keep it on the road. Turn with me to Proverbs chapter 15. In verse 3, it says this: the eyes of the Lord are in every place, keeping watch on the evil and the good. God is watching. But do you understand? He's watching out because he wants to warn us of what's coming. And if you feel like God's not been paying attention, I want you to know God's been paying more attention than you've been paying attention. Because while we've been looking back to see if what God's doing about me, He's looking ahead saying, I know where you're going. And if you don't change course, you will wind up in the ditch. And that's going to hurt more. That's going to cause you to not make it down the road. It's going to end the fun. Psalms chapter 34. I have a few more verses. Psalms chapter 34, verse 15. It says, the eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and His ears are open to their cry. The face of the Lord is against those who do evil, to cut off the remembrance of them from the earth. There's a category I would not like to be involved in. Cut off their remembrance from the face of the earth. I don't know about you, but that sounds like He may not be on their good list. He's paying attention to you. He's watching you. And you know what? He listens to those who are righteous. How many here love to listen to a whiner? How many loves in the morning to get up and to hear that whining sound, and it's just oil and music to your ear? No, it's not. It makes you immediately ticked off. Let's be honest. It immediately causes you to be in the flesh. If we go back to Proverbs chapter 15, I skipped this one because we don't like it. Proverbs chapter 15 and verse before 3. I'll get there, one page at a time. It says, a soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. How many here has ever heard the whine and completely blew up soft answer? Just eliminated that from the world. I mean, it didn't even exist. And you stirred up anger. You stirred up a fire. And the morning went fantastic. The knowledge of the wise uses knowledge rightly, but the mouth of fools pours forth foolishness. I tell you what, you responded in the flesh, and it just went downhill from there. Guess what? God is watching. He's watching and saying, well, that didn't go like you planned. We could have had a different outcome. Psalms chapter 32 and verse 8 says, I will instruct you and teach you in the way that you should go, and I will counsel you with my eye upon you. This is good news. The Almighty God of the universe is paying attention to your next step. If you feel like, well, there's nothing I can do to get God's attention, do you understand? You've already had His attention. What do we have to do? I have to listen to His instruction. If I don't listen to His instruction, it does me no good to have God watch. If I'm so busy telling God to watch me, I will never hear Him say, good job. I'll never hear Him say, stop. You're about to hurt yourself. Verse 9, Psalms 32 and verse 9 says, do not be like the horse or like the mule, which have no understanding, which must be harnessed with a bit and a bridle. Not able to obey unless they're almost put in pain to obey. If God has to bring us to the brink of pain, do you understand that we didn't learn correction a long time ago? The correction was simply to keep us from running into the ditch. The goal is to run down the center of the road. But do you understand? I want to have understanding. I want to be aware of what's going on. God is aware of what's going on, what's going to happen. And when I slip into understanding that look ahead, that planning the next move, when I'm prepared, when I'm in position, then guess what? Now, He can direct my steps. Psalms 33 and verse 8 says, "Behold, the eye of the Lord is on those who fear Him, on those who hope in His mercy, to deliver their soul from death, and to keep them alive in famine." God's watching. Guess what? He knows what's coming. We need to be in position to hear His instruction. If you today have felt as though God has never seen you, understand that you're probably on the top of His list that He's trying to reach. So today He's watching. He sees what you've done and your hurt and where you're at, and He desires to heal, to restore, to mend all of the areas of your life. I encourage you today, don't try to get His attention. Give your attention to Him, because He's already been paying attention to you. Let His love, let His power, let His instruction begin to change you. That's what the Word is. It'll fix our lives. We love you, Lord. Thank you for your Word today. And thank you that you love us enough to spend your time on us.